Okay, sweet family, these are my soursop leaf. Today, the recipe I'm gonna be making for you is soursop tincture, and we're gonna discuss
Sweet
the benefit.
family, welcome. Welcome to Sweet Hattie's Life. If you are new to this channel, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. And thank you so much for stopping back. So today I have a very exciting recipe for you. I chose not to do it until I could come before you because I really wanted to do this. And today we are going to be, let me just move this out of the way. Today we are going to be discussing soursop leaves. And I know growing up in Barbados, we had soursop trees, all those things. And I didn't, my grand, she used to make some soursop punch. We call it soursop punch in Barbados. And I think I was allergic to it because something in there used to like scratch my lips and my tongue and everything, so I never really drank it. But whenever these soursops were bearing, she would always make it and have it in the fridge. So today, what I want to look at with you, I want to look at the soursop and the benefits of it, because as I told you, I grew up with this all around me. I remember seeing the older generation, they would drink the tea and all those things, but it was just like tea. So they never told us the benefits or anything like that. But today we are going to look at that, and we are also going to look at a special recipe that I am going to be doing for you with the soursop. Because when I saw these leaves, I really could not do this recipe. So I am going to be looking at, and these are my soursop leaves. I made a tincture with them before, but today again, I am going to be making another tincture by making it for me, my family, my friends, whoever wants it. Because these bad boys, I really can't not make a tincture and just drink the tea. But let me let you look at these. Look at these leaves. Look at these leaves. Look at them. And when you smell them, when I took them out of the package and I smell these leaves, I said, that smell is so familiar. And not a lot of these soursop leaves that you get are like these, but these are like perfect soursop leaves. So I say, you know what? I'm definitely going to make a tincture with it. And remember one thing, make sure your hands are perfectly clean, because I do not want to put on the gloves, because the gloves, they leave residue and all that. So I don't want to put on the gloves. So let's look at some of the benefits. And another thing that I realize is, I know I'm doing a lot of talking, but you can fast forward. Another thing that I realize is that none of my herbal books, my 8 herbal books, none of my herbal books had in soursop leaves. And you know why? Because that is a plant that grows more in the tropical climates. And I am from a tropical climate, so it grew all around, and it grows, I should say, all around Barbados at home. But I live in the USA now, so I have to like resort to getting my leaves otherwise. All right, so the first thing that it does, it boosts the immune system. So it helps to combat colds and flus and all that, and it boosts the immune system. And another thing, I'm gonna list all the, not all, but some of the benefits in the actual video. And it is good for eye health. It helps with the eyes, and all of those things is good for eye health. And it prevents constipation. It prevents constipation. So those of you that suffer with constipation, this will be a good herb for you to use. But before I go any further, let me just say one thing, is that I'm not a medical doctor. I'm just a person that studies these things. And if you are pregnant, nursing, or might be allergic to herbs in any way, please do not take this herb or consult your doctor first, because all herbs don't agree with everyone. So the best thing to do is to just consult your medical profession first. All right. So now that I got that out of the way, because as I said, I'm not a medical doctor, but the Heavenly Father did tell us that He gave us the herbs for food and medicine. So if you can get some good organic herbs, if you can't grow them, then that is going to be good for you. But make sure that if you're going to be making a oil or anything like that, make sure that your herbs are dry. But with me making the tincture, you can make a tincture with fresh leaves as well. So if you're fortunate enough to get fresh leaves, so much the better. So it helps fight against that big C that is always so prevalent. Because, we're born with those C cells in our body, but something reacts to them and make them grow. So it fights against those things. So it fights against that big C, as I said. And then it helps with insomnia. So if you're a person that really can't sleep, this helps help you to go to sleep. And it just helps with sleep overall. So it fights inflammation as well, because it's an antioxidant, it's an antimicrobial, it's an antiviral, and it fights, because it's antiviral as well. It fights that. Making our tincture right now. And I like to make my tincture with vodka, 80 proof vodka. And the reason I like to do that is because I don't like a lot of sugar. So I don't make it with the glycerine, and I don't want to make it with the vinegar either, the apple cider vinegar either, because I don't think so. So that's why I normally make my tinctures with the 80 proof vodka. And this is my container, and I'm using a quart container today instead of a pint container. So what I am going to do is I am going to probably fill this like halfway up with my leaves, because as I said, this is for family and friends and all of that. So, but before we start the tincture, two more things that our soursop is good for, and that is it's good for skin health. So if you have problems with your skin like acne and all those, and eczema and all those different things, you can probably make an oil and then make a salve. You can make a cream. You can make so much things with when you have an oil, or even water like a tea. You can do so much things with it. You can make it into a spritz and spray it on your face with it for the acne. Just remember, if you're going to put it in the fridge, it only lasts up to probably 7 days. And then it also is good for pain. So as I said, if you are a person that suffers with a lot of pain, which I do sometimes because I do a lot of walking, so I make myself some salves. I made some salves this morning, and I made a salve this morning, and this is Mulan salve. And I made this Mulan salve because I suffer with my sinuses and stuff like that a lot. So I just wanted to try something, because this is good for, the Mulan is good. I did a whole video, I think, on that already, so I'm not going to go into that. But let us start our tincture. So we are going to take these bad boys up because they are so big. I am going to cut them. I am going to cut them to get them in my bottle and get them. Okay. So we are just going to be cutting these things up now. And I know sometimes y'all don't always like these sit down talking videos and stuff like that. But I like to talk to y'all. I really do. So, and I like to share my stories. And I know a lot of people don't necessarily like want to hear stories and all that all the time. They just want to see you make this stuff. But for those of you that want to hear my stories, can stick around. For those of you that don't want to hear my stories, what y'all can do is fast forward. Because all we are doing now is we are just cutting up our leaves. And if you smell these things, I have some other ones that I had before to the bottom of this thing. I don't even know if I could reach them. Yeah, but I just wanted to show you the difference. Look at these other ones that I had before, and they don't have much of an aroma. So that's why I wanted to make my tincture out of these bad boys, because I remember that smell. So, and I'm not putting anything else in here. I'm just doing the soursop. So if y'all see me smiling, I'm smiling like this because I am just so excited I love making tinctures. And people will say, but that's like drinking alcohol. No, it isn't. Because when because we have to leave this for about 6 to 8 weeks. And by the time this is finished, you don't even smell. I mean, smell. You don't even taste the alcohol or anything. Like, you don't taste a burn, you don't taste anything. All you taste is the herb. And if you're worried about that, just make yourself a cup of tea. And when you make yourself a cup of tea, you put, oh, I just love the smell of these. You put some of your tincture in the tea, and any alcohol content that was there would be burned off, and the only thing that would be left would be the actual herb. So you still get the benefits of it. So, as I said, this is things. So I am gonna a slightly little bit more than half. But I'm going to have breakfast shortly, so I'm going to make myself a cup of tea, soursop tea as well. So this is going to be my vodka, and I'm just going to fold this up and all right. And this is going to stay, as I said, for 6 to 8 weeks to do its thing. So I put it in my cupboard, my dark cupboard, and I will shake it when I remember. And normally I make the pint bottles because normally it's just, but I wanted to make, enough for friends and family and stuff like that, because this is soursop is very, very good for you. And this is something you need to have in your medicine pantry. This is gonna make me a lot of bottles, because what I normally do then, I would have shown y'all that before. I normally would just store them in a dark bottle, and then I measure it out in little dropper bottles. So I am not going to leave on this cover. The cover I am going to use for this, because this is alcohol. So you can either, I'm going to keep this cover inside here because this is not going to corrode. But what I am going to do, I'm just going to put on my little white cover. Or what you can do, if you're using these, you could just put some parchment paper in it so that it don't, if it starts to rust or anything like that, it doesn't corrode. But family, so this is our soursop tincture, and this is going to be ready in about, I will probably leave it, as I said, 6 to 8 weeks. But I might probably leave it only 6. It all depends. And because I have some there ready that I use, so it's not a thing, but I'm just so excited to have this one with these leaves, because they're still green. They're not brown in any way. They are green. So every other day, or when I remember, I'll just give it a shake. But what I will do is label it. I don't like to label on my corks because I like to reuse them. So I normally write a label and just stick it on with some see-through tape, and that is going to be my label. So family, this, if you enjoyed this recipe and me talking about some of the benefits of the soursop leaves and telling my little stories, I would appreciate if you would consider giving me a like, a share, and a subscribe so that these videos could get through. I know this channel is a pretty small channel, but that's why, the only way it is going to grow is if people like you that love these videos and love me just consider sharing it with your friends and give me a like and a subscribe. And one more thing, send me a comment. And after you send me a comment, just remember, when you go up there, continue to let your light shine and always, always spread the love.
Okay, thank you so much for joining me, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. And as I said, try this at home and you will love it. This is my soursop tea, and once again, this is how my soursop tincture looks, and we're gonna see how it looks in 8 weeks.